January 1st, 1863 is without a doubt one of the most important days in the history of the United States. It's the day that President Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, freeing all slaves in rebel states. Of course, we know it would take years for the news to reach all the different states, but the day that he signed it, the moment that he signed it, was so important. And as he approached to sign the document, his hand shook. But not because he wasn't confident in what he was about to do. His hand shook because it was really tired. For he had spent the morning shaking thousands of hands. So his hand was just worn out. And he was afraid to sign the document with a trembling hand, saying, and I quote, "If my name ever goes into history, it will be for this act, and my whole soul is in it. If my hand trembles when I sign the proclamation, all who examine the document hereafter will say, he hesitated." So he waited until he could feel his hand again to sign his signature to the document. And by signing it, he sent a message. It said, "The leader has kept his promise, and all those who are enslaved are now free." But it's not just significant that he signed the Emancipation Proclamation. It's also important of when he chose to do so. January 1st. In our country, the end of the year is often a time to balance the books. All of the accountants in the room know what I'm talking about. So there was a close examination of your financial affairs, and in that day, it took place on New Year's Day. And so the major engine in the South was slavery. Slavery was a financial issue. So you might balance your books by renting out a slave for the year or selling a few slaves. So January 1st had the nickname in our country of Hiring Day. But enslaved people had another name for it, Heartbreak Day. The day that you woke up to find that your wife was sold, or the day to wake up and find that your daughter had been rented to the farm down the street. How beautiful that our president chose to sign the document, not just on any day, but on the day of the worst day of the calendar to the people whom it meant the most. The past few years have been very active for me. Without even knowing it, I was part of the year of the shift as I shifted to attending into this church. Then last year, I experienced breakthrough as God broke through barrier after barrier in my life, and I experienced more and more of Him every single day. And this year, I'm looking forward to experiencing the freedom and the joy that comes only from Jesus Christ. But it hasn't been easy. Life is hard. Life has been hard. And we all have our own version of Heartbreak Day. You know, the worst day on your calendar year. Whether it was the day of your parents' divorce, the day you found out someone you love has a terminal disease, the day you were sexually assaulted, the day you got a phone call that took your literal breath away. None of us get off this planet without some heartbreak. Acts 14:22 says, "We must go through many tribulations to enter the kingdom of heaven." But one of the beautiful things that I have experienced as I've gone through my heartbreaks is this. Romans 8:18. "For I consider that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. Paul later says that nothing can separate us from the love of God, but that doesn't mean it's not going to try. Part of the process of following God will be pain, and pain is pain, and God cares about it. And if it hurts you, it matters to Him. And make no mistake, the devil wants to tear you down through pain. He wants to use your pain and tear you away from it. But it's in these moments that I've learned, and I choose to focus on the wounds of Jesus. The worth of Jesus is what it's all about. Isaiah 6 says that He's holy, 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 which means that from the beginning of time to now to 2 trillion years in the future, He's going to be there. He's going to fulfill His promises. That's what it's all about. It will never end. The worth of Jesus will never end. But neither will His wounds. The risen Christ still has His wounds. And through that, we see what Jesus wants us to know. That He can take every single bit of pain that you and I go through and turn it into glory for His purposes. He can use that to accomplish good in your life and in mine. So He kept His wounds, nail prints, and He bears them forever in heaven. I like to think that he's proud of them. I like to think that He looks at them and He sees you that couldn't be there without them. Your name is written on the palm of His hand, and not with a pen, but with a nail spike. Isaiah 53 says that by His wounds we are healed. His wounds were used to do great things, and yours can too. So experience what we're going to experience. Life throwing us to the garbage. Serve God. Yes, serve God, but know that it's coming. The moments of grief, of pain, and of loss, sorrow, suffering, loneliness, depression, anxiety, whatever it is. And in those moments, just do what Job did and sit in your ash pile. Scrape yourself off if you need to. But then declare, I know that my Redeemer lives, and He will stand on the earth at the last. And though this is hard in here, I am going to choose to worship God in my pain. By worshiping God in our pain, we find the cross in our pain. That's what Job did, and that's what I choose to do every single day. Worshiping when life hurts heals like no other way. So let's worship the Lord now.